When Godzilla Minus One hit theaters, no one could have seen just how big the movie would become. The project ushered in a new era for Toho as the Japanese company took Godzilla back to basics. With director Takashi Yamazaki at the helm, the movie has gone on to become one of the best in Godzilla's history. Much of its success came on the back of its director, and now it seems like Yamazaki is interested in revisiting the IP so long as he can remake a classic Godzilla film. The confession comes from Yamazaki directly as the director appeared at New York Comic-Con. It was their guests like Kaiju United got to learn more about movie monsters, and Yamazaki admitted he is interested in remaking Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Takashi Yamazaki wants to tackle Hedorah. I think that for its time, Hedorah was a very cutting-edge kaiju. Thinking about the type of visual expression we can do with technology and how far it's come today, I'm imagining how it would move, and I think that would be a really cool remake, the director shared. And as you can imagine, the Godzilla fandom is now begging for Toho to greenlight such a movie for Yamazaki. If you're not familiar with Hedorah, well, the monster is one of Godzilla's most famous. The character made their grand debut in 1971 with Godzilla vs. Hedorah, which Yoshimitsu Banno directed and co-wrote. Starring Akira Yamauchi and Toshio Shiba, the Toho film was moderately successful upon launch. As the years went by, critics began dubbing Godzilla vs. Hedorah as one of the monster's worst movies of all time. But these days, well, that sentiment has changed. Just as Yamazaki noted, Godzilla vs. Hedorah was ahead of its time in certain respects. From its take on environmentalism to its wacky action, the movie had a unique balance. Godzilla vs. Hedorah could be serious in some places, and then all out in another. This tonal shift confused many in 1971, but these days, the fandom loves Godzilla vs. Hedorah. From Adam Wingard to Roger Ebert, the film ranks as a personal favorite with Godzilla fans. And now we know Yamazaki is also high on that list. Given Hedorah's history, the character is all but begging for a comeback. The monster embodies the worst of pollution, after all. In the 70s, urban pollution was a big concern in Japan, and it is still a worrisome threat. To be frank, the state of global pollution makes Hedorah a great character for Godzilla to revive. The IP is at its best when it is timely and dealing with topics that feel relevant. Nothing could be more ominous to today's society than pollution as things like climate change continue to threaten us. And given what we saw in Godzilla Minus One, Yamazaki could work magic with Hedorah. What's on the horizon for Godzilla? For now, the jury is out on whether Hedorah is eyeing a comeback. The monster may be a favorite with fans, but Toho is still navigating the waters after its latest film. Godzilla Minus One overcame all expectations with its debut and even won an Academy Award for the trouble. Toho wants to make sure its next Godzilla movie lives up to those standards. So here's to hoping the team there is doing all right. In the meantime, fans can look to the Monsterverse for updates. The hit franchise brought Godzilla x Kong, the new empire, to life earlier this year, and a follow-up is already in the works. With a movie slated for launch in 2027, the Monsterverse is thriving on the big screen. And given the success of Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, the franchise's television pursuits are looking just as good.